So this is the first time Paul's setting them up. And he's already done this one. Now he's setting up those two. And we are just using some organic potting soil. And you do want to use potting soil. Don't use topsoil in these because it needs a light soil. Unless you can do your own blend too. I did do a couple of them last year with my own blend. So today we're setting up some more earth boxes. This makes, how many does this make that we have?
13, 14.
Yeah, like 13 or 14 because we just added 4 more. We bought 2 at the beginning of the season. So you just pop the wheels on the bottom, and it does come with the wheels. You can buy them without the wheels too for people that don't want them, but I kind of ended up moving some of mine, so I was glad they had wheels on them because once the soil's in, they're pretty heavy. And then, next thing, you're gonna pop the grate in. Yep, that way. And then there's some little corners in here. It's hard to tell. Sunlight, yeah, right there over in the corner. And you're gonna pack those with soil. And they put the covers inside the watering tube, and the watering tube just pops right in. There's only one hole, so there's no mistaking where it goes. You can buy these earth boxes, like I said, without the wheels and without the planting kits, and then they're cheaper. The planting kit includes the dolomite and the fertilizer, which is, it's an 835 fertilizer. So it's convenient just to get it all together the first time, and then after that, the boxes that I already had from the previous year are over here. I'll show you, they're all doing really well. So some of these, we ordered 2, excuse the wind, replanting kits, and we used those on 2 of them, and then the rest of them I used an organic fertilizer that by Medina. I don't know if you've heard of it, Medina Hostagro. Well, it's a Medina fertilizer, and I just used that. And I was talking to the lady at the garden store that I go to in the little town down the road, and she said you don't really need the dolomite. I don't know. So I said this year I tried some with dolomite and some without dolomite, because right now dolomite is one of those things you can't find anywhere locally. They do have it on Amazon, but it's pretty pricey, and they use, I think it's about a pound bag. Yeah, I think it's a 1 pound bag on each one. And so that it could be pretty pricey if you do use that, but like I said, your initial kit will come with it. And like I said, the corn has no dolomite in it, and these tomatoes don't have it. This tomato set doesn't have it. This tomato set does have it. And then I believe the green beans and the okra back there have it. Oh, hold on, let me break that box down. I have cardboard underneath them is simply because I lay down the cardboard and then I mulch on top of it. And again, that's not something you have to do, but I do the mulch because it keeps the grass and weeds from growing up in between, and have a mulcher, so that's something we have access to. Okay, so now Paul's gonna pack in those corners, fill them up, and then pack it down. You're going to do that on both corners. Hard to see with all the there. There we go. And then it's rinse and repeat for the next. The next thing you do is If you pour in the water now, it makes it easier than filling it with the tube. Afterwards, you fill it in from the tube right there. But when it's still, before we fill in all the rest of the dirt, I always fill up the bottom. So then that way the water's already in it. And when you fill in the dirt, you're gonna go 2 inches from the top initially, and then you're gonna spread in the dolomite. Yeah. Then you're gonna spread the dolomite in, mix it, and then you'll build a little trench, and we'll show you when we get there. So it's all spread on the top, and then you're just gonna mix it through. It says about 4 inches in depth. So try to keep the soil in the box, but you know, do the best you can. Yeah. Okay, and then you just spread it out, and depending on where you're putting it, oh, that one we trenched in the middle. That one that you're doing right now, do the trench in the front by the water spick. And the reason why, well, not that far. That's the one, if you're doing tomatoes or eggplant, then you run your fertilizer strip in the front, and you don't have to worry about remembering any of that because the kit comes with a planting chart. It's going to spread in the whole bag, and what it's going to do is it's going to slow feed your plants, and you're going to cover it and mound it. Then you're going to dump enough soil on top to make a mound 4 to 6 inches over the top. So it takes not 2 full bags, and I'm not sure, I'll have to check what the cubic feet on this bag is, but it takes not quite 2 full bags till you mound it and everything. There's always a little bit left over for the next. Yeah, that's good. And then it comes with, they call it a mulch cover, but it's like a plastic cover, and you just put that on top. There it is with the mulch top. Now I'm gonna mark this one because it has the fertilizer in the front, and I'm gonna do eggplant in that box. I've marked this one eggplant, so that way I know, and when I get ready to plant, and you don't do seeds in here. I suppose you could, but because you have to cut into these covers, it's really, I found if they're good sized, they're up by the chicken coop. If they're good sized seedlings, or I won't even say seedlings, if they're good sized little plants, then they'll be fine. But I found if the seedlings are too small, and when the wind blows on these covers, it can kind of, you know, because once you cut the holes in them, wind will get in them a little more, and then it can kind of damage your little seedlings. So I do recommend that they be a little bit bigger, and I'll show you because I did the okra. These okra back here were this size when I planted them. So, and you'll see, because then they're just a little stronger, and it'll help them. And same thing, the green beans, you'll see there's a couple of bigger ones. Those were planted sooner because it wasn't a freeze that came through. We had a massive windstorm that came through one day, and it was just, it took out a lot of green beans and stuff. It didn't take them out, it just damaged them. So anyway, so that's what happened. So I did replant, and so you'll see, but you'll want them at least the size of that okra right there before you plant. And I want to show you Jonathan's corn this year. He's so proud of it. This is probably the nicest looking corn we have ever planted. So we'll see what the ears look like. But this corn has survived all the windstorms and all the hail and everything else. So it's some sturdy stuff. You can see the way the wind is blowing right now even. Good job, huh, Jonathan?
Yes.
Yep. Jonathan likes to grow corn every year. That's his thing. Planting chart that it comes with, it's on the back. That's the placement and planting. And it comes with full picture instructions. You really can't get any simpler. And if you want one that you don't have to bend down, doesn't have wheels, you can actually buy the garden stand for it. Now, some of the replacement stuff I'll say is pretty pricey, but if you look at, there's people that have said they've already had them for 10, 15, 20 years, and they're still perfectly fine. So at that rate, it's a good investment.